Greetings, CIRI shareholders, descendants, and families. Welcome to CIRI's 2021 Virtual Friendship Potlatch. I'm Sophie Minnick, the President and CEO of CIRI, and it's an honor to virtually host this event again with the CIRI Foundation. I would like to begin this year's Potlatch by honoring those that have come before us and cared for the lands that we live, work, and play on. This year's Friendship Potlatch is being filmed in Anchorage, Alaska, which is on the traditional territory of the Dena'ina Athabascan people. We recognize the Dena'ina people for the historical and ongoing efforts to preserve their culture and care for the land. To our Alaska Native shareholders, descendants, and their families, thank you for joining us today. Thinking back to our most recent in-person potlatch in 2019, I am reminded of the delicious lunch, the fun, and the excitement of the blanket toss demonstration, and the joy of greeting each of you individually, hearing updates on your lives and families, seeing how our young shareholders and descendants have grown, and the sense of well-being that occurs when we spend an afternoon sharing our Alaska Native traditions, food, and fellowship. I sincerely look forward to seeing all of you very soon. In the meantime, please continue to take good care of yourselves and one another. As we approach December 18th and the 50th anniversary of the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act, we reflect on the last 50 years of opportunity and challenges. While celebrating and reflecting on those last 50 years, we recognize the importance of looking ahead to the next 50 years and embracing the challenges and opportunities that the future will bring. One opportunity that has been highlighted throughout the last 18 months has been adapting our daily lives to reflect the realities of today. This year's Potlatch theme, Embracing Tradition, speaks to the sense of belonging, comfort, and connection that occurs when we come together and share our cultures and traditions with one another, no matter the forum. Traditions help us move through these seasons. Traditions connect us with people we have loved, those that we have lost, and when we share our traditions, they help connect us and help connect different generations with one another. All traditions start somewhere, and we can adapt them to match our changing circumstances. This virtual potlatch is a good example. Thank you again for joining us here today, for embracing change, and for participating in Alaska Native culture and heritage through our shared traditions. Typically, potlatches give us the opportunity to honor those CIRI shareholders who have been recognized by their fellow CIRI family members, including the CIRI Board of Directors. Today, I am joined by CIRI Board Chair Doug Fifer.
Thank you, Sophie. It is my honor to join you today and present CIRI's 2021 Elder of the Year, Shareholder of the Year, and Youth Recognition Awards. The three individuals being recognized today exemplify our Alaska Native values. Through their accomplishments and leadership qualities, they benefit CIRI shareholders and descendants, as well as the broader Alaska Native community. The CIRI Elder of the Year Award recognizes shareholders who have shown dedication to Alaska Native culture, heritage, and communities. The individual is recognized as a leader, an educator, and preserver of Native culture whose contributions have benefited Native peoples throughout his or her life. This year, I'm honored to present the Elder of the Year Award to Penny Carty of Anchorage, Alaska. Sadly, Penny passed away in April of this year at the age of 72. She will be remembered for her fierce and thoughtful advocacy for the advancement of Alaska Native people, particularly among the people of Salamantoff and CIRI shareholders and descendants. From 2005 to 2017, Penny served on the CIRI Board of Directors. In addition to her service on the CIRI Board, she was a longtime board member of Coconut Housing Authority and served on many other boards and committees, including Coconut Tribal Council, Kenaitze Salamantoff Housing Authority, Salamantoff Tribal Council, and the CIRI Foundation. Penny served on the board of Salamantoff Native Association prior to becoming its president and CEO. She was instrumental in ensuring that Salamantoff became a federally recognized tribe and that all 129 original shareholders or allotted land selections. On behalf of the CIRI Board of Directors and the entire CIRI family, we thank Penny and her family for her years of dedicated service. Each year, we recognize a CIRI shareholder as our Shareholder of the Year. This person promotes pride in our Alaska Native heritage, demonstrates a commitment to the economic and social well-being of Alaska Native people, and works to preserve Alaska Native customs, folklore, and traditional arts. The award acknowledges both the recipient's life accomplishments and his or her contributions to Alaska Native people. I'm pleased to share that CIRI's 2021 Shareholder of the Year is Ivan Insulesky of Ninilchik, Alaska. Ivan currently serves as Executive Director of the Ninilchik Village Tribe, Ninilchik Traditional Council, overseeing the tribe's operations. He has helped significantly grow the tribe's membership, led community improvement initiatives, spearheaded the opening of the Ninilchik Traditional Council Community Clinic, and expanded housing resources. Ivan has fought for the rights of Alaska Native people to set a community gillnet in the Kenai River and to self-regulate their own fisheries. He currently chairs the board of both Cook Inlet Tribal Council and Get Out the Native Vote, serves on the board of the Alaska Native Justice Center, and acts as an Ninilchik Village representative to the Cook Inlet Treaty Tribes. Through years of dedicated leadership, Ivan has positively affected his community and Alaska Native people. He has successfully brought communities together and fostered relationships between regional and village corporations, tribes, and Native and non-Native communities. As a fellow board member of CITC and a friend, congratulations, Ivan. The next award I'll be presenting is CIRI's Youth Recognition Award. One of CIRI's strategic focus areas is to deepen engagement with our young shareholders and descendants who will become the future owners of this corporation. The CIRI Youth Recognition Award acknowledges youth for superior academic achievements, demonstrated leadership qualities, dedication to Alaska Native culture and heritage, and outstanding contributions to community and family. Today, we are pleased to recognize an impressive young woman, Grace Carlson of Las Vegas, Nevada. Grace is connected to CIRI through her grandfather, original CIRI enrollee Otto Thiele Jr., and her great-grandparents, original CIRI enrollees Otto Thiele Sr. and Flora Meehan Thiele. She participated in the inaugural CIRI C3 experience in 2018 and has received several CIRI Youth Education Incentive Awards. This spring, Grace graduated from Northwest Career and Technical Academy in Las Vegas as her school's valedictorian with an outstanding 5.6 GPA. Her many activities include speech and debate clubs, the Health Occupation Students of America Club, National Honor Society, the Distributive Education Clubs of America, and serving as a peer tutor. Grace's career goals include becoming a veterinarian and serving Alaska Native communities. Congratulations, Grace. And congratulations to all this year's award recipients. The passion and commitment and hard work of Penny, Ivan, and Grace make our world a better place. Thank you to everyone for tuning in today. Please stay safe and be well, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Back to you, Sophie.
Thank you, Doug. A big congratulations to Ivan and Grace. Our heartfelt appreciation also goes to Penny's family as well. We are all better for her many years of dedicated service to the Cook Inlet region and its people. Should you have questions for Doug or any of our directors, you can always reach them by email, board@ciri.com. Also, as a reminder, the Board of Directors will soon be recruiting applicants to serve on the CIRI board. You'll find announcements like this through the Raven Circle newsletter, CIRI.com, and our social media channels. If you haven't signed up to receive CIRI information digitally, you can do so through Connect, the CIRI shareholder portal. Much of the information we send out to you is available digitally. Within the CIRI region, there are 7 villages. Our villages are a core component of our rich history, and they are crucial partners within the CIRI family and an important part of our future. The villages within the CIRI region are Chicaloon, Eklutna, Kanik, Ninilchik, Salamatov, Seldovia, and Tyonek. This fall, members of the CIRI team took a trip down to the village of Ninilchik to visit with local leaders and gather stories about the land and the people of the area, both in the past and today. I'm pleased to share Ninilchik's amazing journey with you now.
Growing up here as a young boy, this place was kind of very rural, of course, and it was a fishing community. And they had a cannery right down over the hill here, a big cannery that was the major employers, but all the people were commercial fishermen. They even dug clams commercially later on. I was raised in a house beyond the hill here. Used to walk. There was an old schoolhouse over here next to the church. It burnt down way back in the 1900s. We didn't have this modern road stuff, you know. We walked up the hill, the old trail behind me here. That's called the CC Road, Silver Corps. It was built by hand back in the day. They used to have a little airport there, and a mail plane would fly over, and you'd put out a deal, and they would land and bring in supplies. And everyone traveled by skiff. They would take skiffs and dories. They'd go to Kenai, we'd go to Homer, and they would go up and down the inlet. My mom they used to love to dance. They'd have a dance in Homer. They would all get in a skiff, and they would take all day to go down to Homer just for a dance. One thing that a lot of people don't realize and they miss in our community was very musical. And a lot of the people in the community played guitars, mandolins, accordions. And we would have dancing, we'd have singing, we would get together. We would have traditionally, and everyone would bring their traditional foods. Everyone would bring fancy Peroks and smoked fish and pickled fish and all kinds of goodies. And then pies, up on pies they make. And we had those gatherings all the time. And clams was a big staple of ours. We loved them. We had a lot of clams, king salmon. The rivers down here, when we grew up, these streams were full of kings. Everyone in the village had smokehouses. We smoked fish, we canned fish, we had root cellars. We put up all our food for subsistence for the winter. We got coal off the beach for heating. We didn't burn wood. We burned, everyone burned coal around here. And that's the way we were raised. But, you know, of course, supplementing that, we did a lot of hunting. And when I grew up, a lot of the people here in the village, all my uncles were trappers. They did trapping in the winter, you know, fishing in the summer. And that's kind of the lifestyle it was.
And one of the interesting dynamics of our tribe is that, you know, as Greg mentioned, you know, we don't have some of the traditional potlatches like some others may have in the regalia and different things, but we have a lot of unique history here locally, and because of that Russian influence, and we're proud of both, you know, both the Russian and the indigenous peoples lineage as well. So it's created, you know, a different kind of culture and traditions that haven't been influenced by some of that more recent history. And so we embrace that more recent history. A lot of our elders and my grandparents spoke Russian. Some of them, it was their first language. And so it wasn't Denina speaking, it was Russian. And so some of the elders and folks really hang on to that portion of the history. Well, we kind of embrace that as part of our culture, recognize that thousands of years before the Russian influence, those things didn't exist, that, you know, there were Denina Athabascan speaking people, but also recognize, you know, that times change and that we're here today. And so we have a lot of that influence, and a lot of the stories that the elders tell are in Russian, and things that happened in the village are from a, you know, more recent perspective, which is a really interesting dynamic for us. So we don't have a strong language program and a strong regalia program, but as one of my cousins said, we know how to have a good time, to get together over food and laugh. And as Greg mentioned, the historical, you know, the instrument playings and the gatherings and the visiting. You know, when I was young, I remember going with my dad, visiting my great uncles and his friends. You know, that's what you did in the village. You went and visited, you know, and that was a big part of our traditions and culture, was to visit our relatives and friends in the community. And I think that's still profound today, that we want to hold on to that.
The intent of this land, it was given to me by my dad and my sisters. And the reason we gave it to the tribe was we wanted a place for the tradition of the tribe and the people here locally to go and be able to, whether it's meditate or relax, and have a place that's kind of a sacred place to just do what they want.
So we want to bring that value back to the people and to our tribe. And I think that, you know, having a place that can honor our more recent, family and history and relatives, and give people a place that they can come to and just be together and find their spiritual wellness, look at the history of the tribe, see some of the historical things, would be a great opportunity to really, promote our culture and traditions. Well, and I think that's one of the things that we want to do, even like with this property in combination with the CIRI and CITC on this, is, we got the educational fishery right there. When CIRI had the kids camp that CITC ran, they would bring them down and we'd coordinate work on letting them fish the educational fishery. And I know like the Alaska Native Justice Center comes down, they rent the net out for their retreat, have a good time. So, well, I think the most important thing is collaboration, working together with the tribe and the corporations. The most successful villages are those that are working together to develop projects that corporations eligible and U.S. Fish and Wildlife, and developing our relationships with our partners. And so it's made our tribe and our community grow. And, that unity in the community is really, really important.
Thank you to Greg and Ivan and all those who helped make our visit to Ninilchik so special. To members of Ninilchik Natives Association and Ninilchik Traditional Council, thank you all for all you do to help your community and for sharing your work with us. I am now pleased to turn the camera over to CIRI shareholder Nikki Graham. In addition to serving as the Senior Director of Alaska's People at Cook Inlet Tribal Council, Nikki is a graduate of Le Cordon Bleu College of Culinary Arts. She is going to prepare a traditional Perok that you can easily replicate from your home. With the holidays fast approaching, now is the perfect time to start thinking about the dishes we wish to prepare and share with others. Traditional recipes like this are a fun and delicious way for us to embrace tradition.
Waka! Hello everyone, my name is Nikki Graham. I'm a CIRI shareholder and enrolled member of the Ninilchik Village tribe. I'm really excited to be here today to share my recipe for Perok with you all. Perok actually comes from the word Perok, from the Russian word for pie. And it was traditionally used at special occasions, community events like potlatches, funerals, and holidays. And it was introduced in the 18th century when the Russian fur traders brought over flour and introduced it to the Alutiiq and Aleut people on Kodiak Island, where they soon became expert pie makers. Over the years, it's had many different iterations, many different versions. Sometimes it's made with moose meat, sometimes it's made with fish or salmon, and it can be used with a variety of different vegetables. I'm excited to share my version with you all today.
First, I'm going to start by putting my pie crust together. This is my Grandma Hazel's recipe, and I'm honored to share it with you all today. Pie crust can be a little finicky, so if that's not for you, store-bought pie crust or puff pastry also works well if you're in a pinch. So I'm going to bring that all together, add in my shortening, crumble that together. I use my fingers and also a fork, and then we'll pop that in the refrigerator to chill. Then I'm going to move on to chopping all of my vegetables. So I've got mirepoix going, carrot, celery, and onion, as well as some garlic and also some green cabbage. Set that aside. I'm going to season and put a little olive oil and lemon on my salmon fillet, which is from Bristol Bay. And then I'm going to get my rice started. So for rice pilaf, we just bring that to a boil. I've got some stock, herbs, and garlic, and that goes in the oven with the salmon to cook. I'm going to go ahead and add my mirepoix, my veggies, to my cast iron pot and cook those down until tender. Now you can use any type of veggies that you'd like. Some people use mushrooms, some people use root vegetables like rutabaga and turnips. You can see my assistant there in the background. But for our purposes today, I love to use some cabbage and then of course my mirepoix vegetables. Add in the garlic at the end and you just want to cook that until it's aromatic. So it just releases that beautiful garlic smell. Then I'm going to add some flour. I'm creating a roux to thicken up my filling. And so we'll cook down the flour a little bit, stirring constantly to cook out the rawness of the flour. And then I'm going to add stock. So this is a sauce that's actually called velouté in technical French cooking. And then we want to cook it till nappé, which means it coats the back of the spoon. And then you're going to remove that from the heat after you've added some fresh and dried herbs or seasonings of your choice. And then you're going to go ahead and remove that from the heat so it cools down. You want to make sure both your rice and your vegetable filling are cooled down before you add them to the pie crust. So here I am rolling out my pie crust. I'm going to do 2 of these, one for the bottom of the pie pan and then one for the top as well. Now pie crust can be a little tricky to work with, so if it starts acting up on you, put it back in the refrigerator to chill some more, and then bring it back out so it's easier to work with. I'm going to go ahead and layer my pie. I'm adding my rice. I like to use pretty good sized chunks of salmon in my next layer. And then I'm going to top it with our vegetable filling mixture. And so the recipe that I provided makes enough for 2 pies. And so there's the finished product. Nice and golden brown and crunchy. It's a rustic pie dough, and I topped with a little bit of French green onions. But this was really delicious, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to share with you all today.
Well, there you have it. Thank you so much, CIRI, for allowing me the opportunity to share my family recipe for the fall potlatch. Until we're all able to gather again, Kuyana, and take good care.
Thank you, Nikki. The Fall Friendship Potlatches are a long tradition for CIRI shareholders. These events provide us with the opportunity to socialize, share good food and stories, laughter, and honor friends and family members who have recently passed. The traditions we share at our potlatches are similar to those that have served our people for thousands of years, to celebrate life and help families and communities heal from their losses. The loved ones who have left us still play important roles in our lives, and they always will. We gather to strengthen the identity and unity of our people and to reaffirm the importance of family, friends, and the cultural traditions of our shareholders. One of those traditions of the Fall Friendship Potlatch is the Athabascan Memorial Cloth Ceremony. Cloth ceremonies were traditionally held during funeral or memorial potlatches. I know that many of you have been collecting cloth strips from years and years of these events, and we want to offer that opportunity again this year. If you are interested in receiving a piece of this year's cloth for your collection, please email potlatch@ciri.com, and we will have one shipped to you for your collection. For now, let's take a moment to remember those shareholders who have left us. Thank you. I would now like to welcome Susan Anderson, President and CEO of the CIRI Foundation, to draw for some prizes. Winners' names have been randomly selected from CIRI's list of registered shareholders and descendants.
Hi there, I'm Susan Anderson, and I am here today to do a number of things. Most excitingly, I get to tell you about the prizes that are going to be given out at the potlatch, so that's pretty exciting. First, I just want to tell you a little bit about me and the CIRI Foundation. And so I'm Susan Anderson, for those of you that don't know, and I'm lucky enough to be the president and CEO, or also known as the fairy godmother of the CIRI Foundation. And some of you know me because you've applied for scholarships and grants, and others don't know that you are eligible because you might be a new CIRI descendant who has just recently registered. So welcome to you, and think about these opportunities that you're going to be able to participate in. It's the scholarships, the grants. We have project grants that are focused on culture and heritage. We actually work with the Alaska Native Heritage Center to come up with these culture kits during the beginning of the pandemic. So it's been a real honor and a pleasure to be with the CIRI Foundation, and I'm actually one of the first scholarship recipients, so don't look up when that happened. But it was really through CIRI thinking long term when they helped set up the CIRI Foundation, so that we can have people who are educated, who know about their culture and heritage, and really the Potlatch is one of those ways that we can share some fellowship and share some information, and I'm just really glad that you're here. So I get to, as I said, draw for some prize winners today, and in this culture kit coming from the Heritage Center, the Alaska Native Heritage Center, you're going to get a yo-yo sewing project which has seal fur in it, which is really cool. There's also stinkweed salve, which is really good for all kinds of ailments, and it's wonderful. Traditional plants and traditional medicine. And then there's also a medicine pouch necklace project, which is also going to be included in here. So it's really cool. And then there's an activity book as well. And then there's directions on how to do all of this as well. So you won't be lost if you get one. And with that, a little drum roll, I'm gonna pick the names. So here we go. So all CIRI shareholders and CIRI descendants were in the drawing. And this first one goes to Michelle Hale of Holyoke, Massachusetts. So congratulations to Michelle Hale of Holyoke, Massachusetts. Fantastic. And the next one goes to Leah Butterfield of Plover, Wisconsin. So Leah Butterfield of Plover, Wisconsin. Congratulations to you. And next we have Linda Reinert of Willow, Alaska. So Linda Reinert of Willow, Alaska, just right up the road here. And last but not least, Trenton Kasile of Kwethluk. So Trenton Kasile of Kwethluk, Alaska. All right. Well, with that, I just want to say congratulations to the winners, and I'm very envious, and I have to figure out how I can get a hold of one of these for me, because I think I really like to do these projects. So with that, I say Gunashish, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the Potlatch, and remember coming together and remembering our loved ones, and remembering to take care of each other is really what we are all about as our Alaska Native community. So with that, I send you off with good wishes, and enjoy the rest of the program.
Thank you, Susan. I am so thankful for the CIRI Foundation and the Alaska Native Heritage Center for embracing tradition and working through the last 2 years to develop these cultural boxes. You have provided so many people with the opportunity to embrace their cultures and traditions from home with these innovative ideas. Thank you all for all that you do. And thank you to everyone for joining me here today. I appreciate connecting with each of you today and together sharing our corporation, traditions, and culture. The CIRI Board of Directors, staff, and I wish you all a safe and happy Thanksgiving and holiday season.